Hi, I'm Megan Powell of the Essex Bridge Center. Today's video will be an explanation of the deep finesse analysis box that you see in the lower left-hand corner when you look at hand records. It helps you understand contracts as they could have been made, but not what contracts you should be vying for necessarily. Let's get started. So what are we talking about when we say the deep finesse analysis box? Well, when you look at a hand record, either one you get from us or whether you're looking at online at the hand records that you're presented with when you go back to analyze your play, you will see in the lower left-hand corner on each hand, this box with numbers and letters and icons in it. What is this box? Well, this is the deep finesse analysis box. It is a computer analysis of contracts that can be made based on where all 52 cards are sitting in that particular hand. Now, it helps to understand the pieces of this little helper tool because a lot of people think that this box explains what you should bid. That's not necessarily true. This does not help you bid necessarily. It does not tell you what you should have bid necessarily. Instead, it tells you what contracts could be made based on where the cards are actually situated. So let's take a look at this box and all of its pieces here. What do all these little icons mean? Well, if you look at this vertical column here, up and down, this column identifies north, south, east, and west, all right? And as you look in this vertical column, you will see an array horizontally. And the way that you will understand the horizontal array is for you to understand that the vertical column identifies the who over here on the far left, all right? So this is the who, the north, the south, the east, the west. What could they be doing? But then you have to look at the horizontal pieces, because if you look at, first of all, the horizontal top row, this N stands for no trump. Then you have spades, hearts, diamonds, and clubs. And then if you look at the numbers associated vertically and horizontally, this may help you understand the contracts that you could make in each area. For instance, if you look on this first horizontal line, this N line that goes that goes right to left, it says, gives you numbers here, 2, 5, 3, 2, 3. And each of those numbers is positioned underneath in a vertical column, an icon or a letter. And so this N stands for no trump. This north line will tell you what you could do in a no trump contract. This spade column vertically will tell you, if you look horizontally, what north could accomplish in a spade contract or in a heart contract for north. Same thing with the S line. If you look at the S line, it's saying south could be able to take a 3-level club contract or a 2-level diamond contract. And notice there is not anything written horizontally in the E line, east's line, or W line, west line. And that means that on the particular board which we are looking at, there was no contract makeable for east or west. So let's take a look at how this general information here actually matches up with an actual hand. This is the hand that it's associated with, and how to read this box and how to consider the information it's giving you. This is board 1. It'll tell you that south is the dealer up here in the left. It'll even give you the high card points down here in the right. And then you see this deep finesse analysis box in the lower left. So we look at this hand and we say to ourselves, well, what might have happened on this hand? If south is the dealer and south has 19 high card points and a 5-card major, we think south would have opened 1 spade here, right? Do you think south would have opened anything else with these 19 points and a 5-card spade suit? And I think the answer is no. No, I don't think so. I think that North is going to open up spades, and in a minute we're going to talk about South is going to open up spades, and in a minute you're going to see how North has a spade holding as well. And with that kind of length in a spade suit, a major suit, I think they're going to play in a spade contract. But look at the deep finesse box down here. It is showing you that contracts other than spades are possible. Look at how many successful contracts there are for North or for South in each of these areas, even though we, looking at the hands, seeing 19 points and 5 spades here, and even if you look at North, you see 9 high card points and 4 spades. Well, pretty quickly, your mind is already saying, well, wait a minute, we've got 25 points. We've got a spade fit. Sure, we're going to play in spades. Why would we play in hearts or diamonds or clubs or no trump, right? That's not what the deep finesse analysis box is trying to get you to believe. But it does tell you what you could make. It's telling you that North and South could make, in no trump, 8 tricks. That's the 2, right? Book plus 2. That North and South could take 8 tricks if they played this in a no trump contract. It's also then telling you, they're confirming for you that your spade bidding seems to be right. You can take 11 tricks in spades, North South. This is book plus 5, right? 6 plus 5, 11 winners. It's also saying that you could, in theory, take 9 tricks by North or 8 tricks by South if you played in a heart contract. Now, if you look at North and South's hands and you look at the hearts, they don't look so hot, do they? All right. It also says that you could take 8 tricks in a diamond contract, book plus 2. That's 8 tricks. And it says you can take 9 tricks in a club contract, book plus 3. That's how you read these numbers. Well, that's great. That's a lot of contracts that North-South can make. But would they? Would they have even attempted it? Well, let's go back to our bidding. South has 12 to 20 high card points and 5 spades and is definitely going to open 1 spade, right? West has 5 high card points, isn't going to bid anything as an opponent, and passes. Now, North, you have 3 at least cards in the spade suit. You know there's an 8 card fit. And if you had any distribution to add, you would add it. Now you don't, but you still have 9 total minimum responding points. And so you should raise a minimum amount to 2 spades. And then after East passes, the auction goes back to South. South, you now know there's a spade fit. You actually get to add a distribution point for the diamond doubleton, and that gets you to 20 opening points. North is promising you 6 to 9 minimum responding points. That absolutely gets you to 25 points and a spade fit. And so North would go to 4 spades. That seems reasonable to me, right? Did North and South even attempt to bid any other suit? No. Why not? Well, once they knew they had a major suit fit, why would they have even tried to search for a diamond contract? Why would they have searched for a club contract? They wouldn't. There was never a reason. Once a spade fit, a major suit fit is found, there was never a reason for North and South to explore diamonds or clubs. Once you find a major suit fit, wham, it's like glue. That's where you're playing, right? So there was never a reason for North or South to attempt to search for a diamond or club contract, even though it says you can take 8 tricks in diamonds or 9 tricks in clubs. What about the heart suit? That's a major suit, and it does say that you can take 8 tricks in South and 9 tricks in North in a heart contract. Well, would you have searched for a heart fit? Why would you have searched for a heart fit when you already had a spade fit? You wouldn't. You would not. It says you can take 9 or 8 tricks in hearts, and maybe you can based on where the cards are all situated. But I wouldn't have gone searching for a different major suit fit once I had one of them. Once we had a spade fit, there's no reason to think about a heart fit. And by the way, are you going to find a heart fit? You're not. You'll only come back to spades anyway. Why go searching when you have one? Now, a lot of people wonder, should they go to no trump instead of playing in the spade suit? And I'm going to remind you that an 8-card major suit fit will almost always take more tricks in that spade or heart contract, the major suit contract, than that exact same hand with an 8-card fit will take in a no trump contract. You will almost always win one extra trick because of the trump suit. So no, if you have an 8-card major suit fit, play in the major suit fit. Don't go searching for no trump. Now, it does tell you you can take 8 tricks and no trump. But notice how well you do in spades. The power of the trump suit, the fit in the trump suit, is going to get you the extra tricks you need. So yes, you have all these other contracts that it's saying you can make. It's not saying you should have bid. Let's take one more closer look at the other major suit. Because, we're always debating which should we be in one major suit versus the other. But if you look at this heart holding again, North has 3 heart cards. South has 3 heart cards. They have a total of 6 heart cards. The opponents have more. The opponents have the majority of the heart cards. And yes, you have the ace, the king, the queen of hearts. But won't that still win tricks? If you play in 4 spades, won't you win 3 heart tricks anyway? So even though the analysis says you can take 9 tricks here or 8 tricks there, that's great. But how would you have even ended up bidding hearts? If South correctly opens one spade, North is going to look at his hand and say, I have spades to go with you. Would never even go toward the heart suit. So there's no reasonable way that North-South end up in a heart contract based on the bidding rules, right? So this deep analysis box tells you certain contracts that can be made simply because where the hands are laid out in terms of each card. And that includes not only the highest cards, but where your 10s and 9s and 8s are sitting. That's a helpful spot cards that will help you win tricks as well. You still need to use your bidding rules to end up in appropriate contracts, right? Now, many players use this analysis feature after the game to consider whether they were on the right track for their bidding and for their play. So one of the things that players do after they finish a hand, they look at this deep finesse box and they ask themselves, were we in the right contract? Well, the way that you do that is use your bidding rules, not this box necessarily, not this deep finesse box. You're basing it on the bidding rules. You're looking at your hand, you're looking at your partner's hand, and you're using what you know about your bidding rules to determine what it makes sense in terms of bidding that you should have accomplished. Yes, this deep finesse box might confirm, if you look at the different contracts that might be made, your assessment might be confirmed by the fact that it says, oh, I can take 11 tricks in spades. So that's part of your confirmation. But again, this box is not telling you what you should have attempted. But you can look at that box and say to yourself, did I take the total number of winners that the box thinks I should make? Now, this is where it gets a little trickier because this is not foolproof. Honestly, you always have to take the numbers in this box with a slight grain of salt. And here's why. This is called a double dummy process. And the computer that does this analysis is a little bit basing their analysis on the fact that they, in fact, can see all 4 hands when they're making the judgment. When they're saying how many tricks you should have taken, the computer knows where every 7 is, where every 8 is when it's making that judgment. There are going to be times when the computer is going to say you can take 11 tricks, and you look at the hand and you go back into bridge base and replay the hand, and there's just no way you think you can take 11 tricks. That happens. When that does happen, and you don't see it, that's when you can send us an email saying, I played in this bridge base game on X day at X time. It's hand number 7. And I don't understand why the deep finesse says I should take 6 when I only took 4. And Alan or I will take a look at the hand for you. and assess why the deep finesse is telling you that. But a lot of times the deep finesse is not bad. It can be somewhat spot on. So you ask yourself, did you take the total number of winners that the analysis says? Now, on this hand, the analysis says you should take 11 winners. Looking over the hand, do you agree? And this is the part that a lot of players do after the game. They stop and they say, the deep finesse says I should take 5, that I should make 5, 11 winners, book plus 5. And I only took 4. Why? Why is that? So you look now at all 4 hands. And one of the things you want to ask yourself is, did you write down the opening lead when the hand was played? If you did, we'd like to try you to get in the habit of doing that. In fact, you'll see at our website, there's sort of a personal scoring document that you can keep with you as you're playing. You jot down opening lead. You might even write down each trick, but you often don't have time to do that, and you don't need to, because Bridge Base will let you go back in and look. And in fact, Bridge Base will tell you the opening lead. But if you didn't want to go back into the system yet, into the Bridge Base system yet, to do all that, if you write down your opening lead when the hand starts, then you'll have that in front of you when you just go to look at this particular hand. So did you write down the opening lead? Because the opening lead might impact how many winners you take. If your table has an opening lead, let's say in the club suit, and another table led the heart suit, well, that might impact the outcome, because you would have played your tricks in a different order. Maybe you would not have been able to get rid of a card you intended to, those kinds of things. If you write down the opening lead when you start to play, this is where you could start to reconstruct the play, because you'll know how it started. But remember, you can go back into Bridge Base, BBO, select the actual hand from your game and replay it, and it will start with the actual opening lead that was made. You can go to our website to remind yourself how to do that. We have a little short handout and video for that. But let's assume that at your table, West led the 2 of hearts, the 2 of hearts. Why would West lead the 2 of hearts? It's 4th down in the longest and strongest suit in the opening lead hand. West is not going to lead top of touching honors in the trump suit. And by the way, top of touching honors with it when it's only Jack 10, not helpful. I wouldn't make that lead anyway, even if it weren't the trump suit. But because it is the trump suit, West is not going to consider it. Are there ever times when the opening leader leads trump? Yes, but there are reasons. And most of those times, those reasons are not in place. So don't get in the habit of leading trump. You're only helping the declarer, not your partnership usually. So you look for a different suit, West. The best suit you have is hearts. It's the longest, and you should lead 4th down, the 2 of hearts. Now let's consider the play from this starting point. Let's see, if you did not take your 11 tricks, can you figure out why? Well, on trick 1, if West leads the 2 of hearts, that means that South can win this trick in either South's hand with the king or North's hand with the ace queen. If I were South, I think I would call for the queen of hearts in North, and that would leave me a winning heart in both dummy and declare. I like having options. So I would probably win this trick with the queen of hearts. Then I have a total of 9 spade trump, and I want to pull trump. I'm going to play first the 2 of spades over to the ace, king, or queen. Both opponents will follow suit. Then I'll play another high spade from South's hand, and you'll notice that both opponents will follow suit. That's the 4 missing spade cards. The opponents are now void after 2 rounds of trump. And now North has 2 more trump up here. South has 3 more trump down here. And we're going to leave trump alone. We should not keep playing trump. We want to see if we can use that trump in some other way later. Instead, let's go after the rest of our winning cards. Now, it does not matter whether you play hearts first or clubs first on this hand. But if just for me, I'm going to play the 3 winning clubs. As long as you play the ace, the king, and the queen separately, you'll get 3 winning club tricks. So I would likely play the 10 over to the queen. I will play the 7 back to the ace, and then I'll play the king and put the 8 on it. Now that will void north and south in clubs, but you've won 3 club tricks. You still have 2 heart winners. You have the ace of hearts in north, you have the king of hearts in south, and you should take them. Now that's 8 tricks in a row that south has won. South needs 2 more tricks. Now, I think South, easily has 2 more tricks, right? In fact, remember that we had 3 remaining spade trumps in South after we pulled trump? Well, those certainly are your 3 certainly needed spade winners to get to 11 tricks. If you've won 8 tricks so far and you still have 3 spade trump left, that's 11 winners. That's pretty good. And that's what the deep finesse says you can make. But what would you do next after you took your clubs and your hearts? If you knew that you had those 3 remaining trump left, you could just take them now if you wanted to. I like to hang on to my trump. That's just me. I look at the diamonds and I look in South's hand. That's where the shortest amount of diamonds are. And there's no way that I can play those 2 diamonds and win them. East and West have the ace, the king, and the queen. I'm not going to win those diamonds. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play them. I'm going to play on tricks 9 and 10 a diamond, and I'm going to let East or West win it. And then they're going to play another diamond. They absolutely are. And they're going to win that one. And then they don't know what to do. They can't see South's hand. They can see North's hand. Because they know the jig is up, they're probably just going to lead another diamond to let you trump it South. And then you'll play your 2 other trump for those 3 remaining trump. You do take 11 winners. Now, if for some reason you, I don't know, played an extra, you forgot to play all of your trump cards before you played your heart suit and your club suit, and maybe the opponents did something fancy, I don't know, but I just don't see how you could end up without 11 winners on this hand. But this is what you do at the end of the hand. You say, how many did I take? What did the deep finesse say I should take? And then I reconstruct the hand. I find the opening lead. And then I basically walk through the hand. And if I printed this out, I would cross out the cards as I mentally play them. It's a way for you to reassess how well you did. So this little box down here does not tell you what you should have bid, but it does sort of indicate what you should make. Now, it's going to tell you that in every possible situation, every possible contract. However, you're not going to play in every possible contract. You're going to choose the contract that makes sense with your bidding rules. So while, yes, you can make a whole bunch of clubs and a whole bunch of diamonds and hearts and even no trump, we were always destined to play in spades. And so at the end of the hand, you want to see what it says about your spade outcome. All right, you check to see how well you did by going back and rechecking and making sure that you got the tricks that deep finesse says you're supposed to take. Making sure that you in fact did will help you become a more consistent player, not only in the play of the hand, but honestly in your bidding, because this will guide you to perhaps at least the best choice, but not the only choice. So one last measure. It matters more that you did well against the other North and South players in this spade contract. Yes, you absolutely want to take as many tricks, if possible, that the deep finesse box says you should take. But really, your true competitors, if you're North and South on this hand, are the other North-Souths who played this hand. And so what you really want to do at times is to go back into your BBO results, look at this particular board, and then go and look at all the other North and Souths who played this board. You'll see that in your BBO listing. You will see this board won, and you'll see every pair next to it who played this board. And you will see their scores. You will see how many tricks they took. You will see what their percentage was, and you'll see how well you fared against those North-South players on this board. That matters more, that you took, hopefully, as many, if not one more trick than those North-Souths did. And if it's 5, fantastic. But you absolutely want to take as many tricks, winning tricks, in this contract as the other North-Souths. Really what you want is to take one more if possible. So This deep finesse box will tell you how well you should have performed on a board, but it will not tell you which of the contracts was the best one to choose. You might be able to suss that out by looking at these lists here and seeing, well, which one is the highest number of tricks, and see if it makes sense that that's the contract you should have bid. But again, what you bid is based on your bidding rules, not just willy-nilly what it says in this box. Your bidding is done based on your knowledge. Your outcome in the play of the hand is where you come to this box and compare your outcome to what it says in this box. All right? So if you have any questions about this, feel free to ask, but try it out for yourself. Take a look at the deep finesse boxes on the boards you play by going back into Bridge Base and checking out a game in which you've just participated. But questions, feel free to ask.